Live.
Okay, are we live now? Let's wait for everybody, make sure we're verified that we are live. We appreciate everybody waiting, and let's see as soon as it fires up.
Hey. Yeah, Mr. Lysak, hit play, hit start yet. Start file. Right. Start yet. Start. We're on.
Okay, we're on. Beautiful.
Kind of soft food.
Hey, thank you everybody for being here, and thank you for all of your support and everything that we've been out here doing. We've got Dan the cameraman, we've got Sam back there, and you've got me as well, so I apologize for that. This has been, wow, what a roller coaster of emotions for this entire trip. You know, meeting up with different families along the way, with the families that we've been able to help, and the families that we've been able to help as far as not yet bring them resolution, but be able to answer the questions as to where their lost loved ones are not. And that's kind of where we're at with Ethan. You know, we started our 2020 road trip here when we left Colorado. Ethan was our very first stop in Iowa along the way, and we chose our route along the top as we're heading to the east, and then we circled down, and then we made our way back to Kansas, and we were actually ready to go home. But for many of you who saw the Ethan episode, I think we were there around the 24th or 25th of September when we started this trip. Our hairs was a lot shorter back then, and we searched, you know, 5-6 different ponds and locations. And we searched these based upon the information that was out there. You know, hey, 190th and Olive is where, you know, we received that the last cell phone ping was. And that's why we really focused our efforts on those ponds of that area. In that, you also heard, you know, in that story that came out on October 2nd that we released, where the sheriff says, you know, we're not coming out to participate. You know, we've already searched these areas, but you're welcome to go ahead and do so. And, you know, in my conversation with the sheriff also, I thought that he also understood which gravel pit that we were at. And come to find out, after the video aired on October 2nd, you know, one of you viewers, Tanner, is actually the one. I'll give Tanner 100% full credit for this. He is the first one that reached out to me and said, Jared, you were not at the right pond. Let me tell you exactly where the party was at, because either he was there, or he had a friend that was there, or the friend, you know, was renting or leasing the property at the time. And so he showed me like right where it was at. In fact, he even had like a screenshot of what may potentially also be a car underwater. It was not. We did put heavy focus and emphasis on searching that area, but what was in the Google Earth was not the car, but the pond was. We have, you know, and we are grateful for everybody that reached out with tips as to different places within the area that we should look. You know, some of you mentioned, hey, we should go farther north and look, even though there was no indication as to why Ethan would have gone that way. Some of you had suggested, hey, maybe you need to drop down to Iowa Falls, where he was going to be going to Grandpa's house the next day. Maybe he was going down there for something after the party. More supplies or something, and maybe he ended up in the river down there. So, you know, part of this search with us being back here was going to take us down to Iowa Falls. And a few others, you know, had reached out and said, oh, there might be something on Google Earth here. And, you know, Taco Cat, you know, we appreciate, you know, the Taco Cat reaching out and even making a video about, you know, Earth, or what's it called?
Google Earth.
Yeah, Google Earth. You know, and doing a whole map of, hey, go check out this. It looks like a car. So, you know, we appreciate that. Those were not the spots. The spot was actually where we found Ethan, was in that pond where the party was at. Our search started off yesterday morning. We stayed overnight in Hampton, and we did not want to get out of bed yesterday morning. With getting out of bed, you guys all right? Okay, he's following the chats back there. Sam didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. There was snow on the ground. It was 20 degrees yesterday, and
16
degrees.
It was 16 degrees.
And,
so cold.
And the high was supposed to be 29.
Yeah.
But you know, we found the strength to get up and out of bed. We had like 5-6 layers of clothes on, and we went to the property. The property was locked. And, you know, and normally if it was just like a farm gate, I would have just gone right through it, because that's kind of like what I do. I ask for forgiveness, not permission. But when there's a actual gate that is locked, you know, we do then track down the actual property owners. Well, we thought that Joe might have been the property owner on this one, who owned the 6 ponds that you saw in our previous search. And so we ended up running back into Hampton because Joe normally, the rumor from the bank is that he hangs out at Hardee's every day until 10:30. But because of COVID, the dining room was closed, and we got there about 10:15, and there was no Joe. Well, what's our next option? It's a farming community. Even though your next farmer is 100 acres away from you as your neighbors still know who owns the properties next door. And so with that, we ended up over, to give you an idea, if you're following along on a map, from Hampton, if you go north on Hampton to 190th, you then turn east, you'll run into Nettle. So Nettle and 190th. Just east of that, just west. So go west on Olive, go past Nettle, and we went to the farmer's house there, knocked on his door, and hey, do you happen to know who owns the property next door? And they were gracious enough to give me the phone number, and called up the property owner. And, oh yeah, there's 6 owners that own, or there's 4 sisters that own it, and yeah, we can be over there in an hour to unlock it. So well, we really don't want to wait for you. So is it okay if we just go ahead and make our way around the gate? Well, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier to make our way around the gate, but let's just say that the RV that we have is not made for off-roading. But I treated it very much like a 4-wheel drive truck. We ended up going over, it was a good angle. I don't know why we didn't roll, but somehow we made it down into the farm field. We then thought we were stuck, but it wasn't really stuck, but it was like the ground was frozen and we were spinning out. We got stuck. We had to back down in the farm field. Junior here Wolfgang ended up crashing the drone as well. Just trying to grab you guys some great shots for the edited version that's coming up. And in the process, we finally ended up making it up to the pond. So that was kind of our adventure to get there yesterday morning. We ended up getting the boat put together. We had the little blue boat. We put the sonar on there, and we got in the pond. And I would say it's probably a 1.5 to 2 acre pond or so. So to give you an idea, that would be roughly the widest part of it is probably the width of the length of a football field, and then if you go lengthwise, if you look it up on, I'll tell you right where it's at. If one of the mods can drop a GPS coordinate directly to where this pond is at, you'll be able to see the pond itself. So roughly a football field length in width, and then maybe a football field and a half to 2 football fields in total length is the size of this pond. So we started off with a side scan sonar and down imaging sonar, doing our grid search, and we always start closest to the shore. So Sam and I are in the boat, and we go around 34 feet to the left, 34 feet to the right, which is 68 feet total. After I did my proper math on that one, I was saying
I had to help him with it.
72 feet is what I was calculating. Anyway, so 68 feet total, and so we did our first pass around the perimeter of the lake. Once we came back around the second time, we did not identify anything, and one of the spots that we did focus on as we were coming back around was that one spot that Tanner really said, hey, focus on there. It looks like something's under the water there. But unfortunately it was not. It was just shallow at that point. It was only like 3-4 feet deep at that point. We then changed the sonar settings for the side imaging. We then, on our second passes, because we kind of move inward, we always cast out further at that point. So now we're going 70 feet, to the right, 70 feet to the left. And it wasn't more than, we didn't even make it very far. Like, we barely turned it on, and a car showed up on sonar, or what appeared to be a car. Because we're dealing with in a gravel pit. Gravel pit's been dug out, so there's no big rocks in there. And so it was very clear the moment that we went over it. Like, Sam, that's a car.
Yep.
And that's when it hit us. Like,
It was like this energy that just, we knew, just the energy, just the way it hit us, and just the way it just jumped out. I mean, it was just so evident on the sonar. I don't know, just like you just knew.
Mm-hmm. So we changed the sonar settings. We pinpointed right where it was at, and did a few more passes with the side scan. We then switched over to the 360, and 360 allows us to just park the boat, where side imaging you have to be moving constantly, whereas with the 360 you park the boat, and now you have the radar, that you have the sonar that's going around. And with that one, that's why, there's always two of us in the boat, because now while one of us is steering the boat and keeping an eye on the sonar, the other one, can start tossing the magnet. Hey Sam, it's off to, it's right there in front of you, about 15 feet. And so with that one, Sam was able to throw the magnet, and he was able to latch onto the car. From there, we ended up taking the line back over to shore, and I would say, based upon the length of the line, if we haven't cut enough, we've cut the line a couple times, but I would say that it was between 85 and 90 feet from shore is how far it was. On sonar, when we did pick it up for the down imaging and side imaging, you could see that the car was sitting at 12 feet deep, with the roof of it sitting about 8 feet underwater. Sam ended up blowing a hose on his dry suit.
So yes, Sam did break something. It was the hose on my dry suit. So.
Yes, it was his dry suit hose. It wasn't his dry suit. His wet dry suit.
Correct.
But it was a hose that we knew that was going to end up blowing soon anyway, and we've been trying to get some dive shops along the way, and just no dive shops have been en route on our way, so he was not able to get that hose fixed for this dive. So I ended up going in by myself on this dive. It was just a real quick. I wouldn't say that the footage is less than 6 minutes of me being underwater.
Super short.
I mean,
I think it was 5 minutes.
In fact, we'll when the video comes out December 4th, we'll actually just let the entire footage from the moment that I hit the water. No cuts. I mean, you'll hear me, you'll see me go in, I'll follow the orange line down. It was, 6 to 8 feet getting down to the car. By the time I got to the end of the car, it was 12 feet at the bottom. Most of my mass, because I'm up above, I'm not laying on the surface, it's between 9 feet is kind of where, my head is at. When I get up to the car is facing, I come up to the passenger side, and right about the front door is a 4-door car. It is gray in color, that matches the same color as Ethan's car. The front wheel, I quickly identify, it says VW on there. We're looking for a Volkswagen Jetta, so immediately, like Sam and I, we already knew topside. Like Sam said, it was the energy.
Yeah, you just knew.
Before we even dove on it, Sam and I are very, emotional people, as some of you know, and we shared the tears, we shared the hugs, we shared the pain, the emotion, the joy of being able to, bring resolution to the family. That after 7 years, even though this pond has already been sonared twice, and we'll get into that story in just a minute, but even though the pond had been sonared twice, and dive teams have even been in here, that we were able to not take somebody else's word that this pond had been cleared. Sam and I had not cleared it. We had not put eyes on this pond ever before, and for us to do our job properly, when we clear something, I can say almost 100% confident that when we say that something is clear, something is clear. And that's the other ponds in the area from the video that you saw on October.
That's us doing our due diligence, for our personal peace of mind, especially after we got such a good tip as to where the party was. We had to see for ourselves.
Yeah, go back to the beginning is what they say. Go back to the beginning and start from there. So that's why we ended up going back to the pond there. Anyway, so I ended up identifying the front wheel. I then made my way identifying the passenger window, both windows, verified that it was a 4-door. I made my way to the rear of the car, where the license plate was completely, had been silted over the years. Not silt, but, more of a mud glaze that they get on it. Water clarity was, it was actually pretty good, 6 to 8 feet is what the water clarity was. So I was able to brush off the license plate, and AUZ 382.
You'll see it on the thumbnail.
Is on the thumbnail. So what you see on the thumbnail is actually after I've wiped it, and you can see my hand, my glove there as well. So that is the screenshot from the video. I then made my way around to the passenger side of the car. Same thing, I verified that, if the windows were down, that I could see if there was any human remains inside. I then came around the front looking for attachment points at the front of the car, to see what we can do, if should the sheriff, request our services to help rig the car, I would know how it's sitting. Are we going to go around the axle, or are we just going to go J-hooks, to the wheels? So with that one, I stayed low around the car, and so I got out of the water, and once we got out of the water, we ended up calling the, sheriff right away. And I have to say that, working with the sheriff has been like I would probably say the best experience we've had with any law enforcement yet.
Great guy. Awesome guy.
And we'll talk about more about our experience with him, throughout this evening's conversation here. So anyway, the sheriff and the chief ended up coming down. I always go by first name basis, so Aaron Dodd is the sheriff, and Bob, I don't remember his last name, but chief. So
Chief Bob.
Yeah, Chief Bob, Aaron and Bob. Both incredible guys, very grateful and also confused. They were both confused in why was Ethan's car there? Why did the previous sonar team not be able to identify that the car was there? Because I think it was 2 days after Ethan went missing, they had a sonar team there, and 2 months later after Ethan went missing, they had a sonar team there, as well as divers in the water. And I think I've had like 5 or 6 or 7 interviews with the news today as well, and my story is the same for all of them. Is that we cannot fault the sonar team or the dive team at the time, because one is, if you get into a body of water of this size and you send a diver in to just say, hey, try to find a car in here, it's very difficult. If you have sonar and you can identify where it's at and you're able to put a lock on it, now it's a lot easier. But here's what we have to remember is that 7 years ago, technology in sonar has changed. We're using side imaging with a much crisper picture these days than what was available 7 years ago. But even if we go back 7 years ago, was their technology, did they have a brand new sonar at that day and time? Or was their unit, 3, 4, 5 years old, so that they're dealing with a decade-old technology? So at no point, so please do me a favor, let's not throw the previous searchers under the bus on this at all. We could have been there 10 years ago, and we could have had the same technology they had, and we could have missed it. So with sonar, it's also one of those things. I mean, you have to cross over at a certain pattern, otherwise you may not pick it up just right either. It's just one of those things that the more we use it, the more we understand it ourselves, and we understand what it is we're looking for. Some of you have made the comments that as we're presenting these videos, that we're like, oh yeah, look right there, and you're like looking, you can't figure out what it is we're looking at until we like point to it, and then you're like, oh yeah, there it is. And so, that's something that I've ran the sonar more than Sam has. Sam is getting more and more dialed into it as well, and we continue to hone our skills in the sonar portion of it. So anyway, so the sheriff and the chief were on site. We offered up our services to, hey, let's just go ahead and hook this for you, and we can have it out in the next 15-20 minutes once you have a record here. As much as they would have preferred to just do so, they also have a chain of command on this. So they did have to reach out to to their supervisors, to the attorney general, to what's the best way of doing this, because at the end of the day, we're coming in really as civilians. We are not a part of the Iowa search and rescue. We are not part of the their dive team. We're not part of the state.
We're not under their insurance. We don't follow underneath their jurisdiction. That's just not us.
Yep. So anyway, so as much as he would love for us to just hook it and book it, they do also have to treat this as a crime scene. They have to go with a worst case scenario on this one. Is what if this was foul play? What if there was a murder involved? What ifs? And so with that, a proper chain of command has to take place, proper documentation. And so one of the first things is, we reviewed the underwater footage that we had shot. And in doing so, I missed it on the initial dive, is that because the helmet was shooting higher, the video was shooting higher than where my eyes were focused, we actually picked up that the front windshield was not in the vehicle.
Bug caved in.
Yeah, I think it was caved in, because I didn't see it on the ground, nor did I see it on the hood. So so that was caved in. So anyway, so they had the initial video that they were able to review, and we gave them a copy of that underwater audio. With that one, it was probably 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon, 2:33 in the afternoon. It was getting later in the day already for them, and for them to bring in a small county like Franklin County does not have their own dive team. So they had to bring in a dive team that I think was was either an hour and a half or 2.5 hours away. One of the two. I can't remember which one. There was a lot of numbers that were thrown out yesterday. So they made the decision to clear the area for the evening, put an officer on scene. It is now an official crime scene, so they had an officer there staged all throughout the evening. We came in this morning, again, offered up our services, anything that we could do, whether it was just helping with topside rigging or if they needed us in the water. But they had a very competent dive team that came in, able to identify and do the proper, some of the first things they have to do is, they took their boat out and they put markers down so that way they could then drop in and record the area. So they spent about 30 minutes, I think Aaron said 29 minutes of doing a video underwater to document everything so that, if they could search the area around to see if there was any debris or anything that, was associated with, a crime or a crime scene, as well as identifying the vehicle. At this point in time, there was no human remains that had yet been identified. The sheriff did ask that we hold off until he made his official press release this morning. So it was only after that press release that you saw that we posted that we would be doing a live this evening. With that one, we did not yet have all of the information to share with you, and so that's why we did not go live right away. Yeah, I'll share that. So we did not share the information right away. Yeah, I'll do like 10 minutes in that one. Knowing that later on this evening we would have a lot more information to share with you, and that the case would have been moved forward at that point. Throughout the day, the sheriff was amazing. Kept coming over. There were some conversations. He was like, hey, can we have a conversation off camera? And but for the most part, it was did not mind the cameras, did not mind having the interviews and the conversations with us. And the ones that we did have off is 100%. It was for the appropriate reasons. But he himself, he's the one that kept coming out. And by coming out, I mean like a quarter mile out from the property to keep updating us as to where they're at in the process of, now we're almost getting ready to do this. And we want to bring you guys back into, and we want to make sure that you and your team can tell the story properly for, what it is that you guys document, what is it you do. And he's very, he was very grateful that we were able to finally, I like how Sam puts it. Sam, why don't you, like your wound?
Well, first off, the sheriff himself, he was super compassionate, super grateful, very humble, very just glad that we were there, and very much just wanted closure or resolution, answers, closure, I don't know the right word, but definitely wanted the answers for the family. Up until this point, it's just been an open wound, for the community. Now they can start to close that wound, and there might be a bit of a scar, but at least they can start that portion of the healing process. So yeah, it was very much an open wound, and us, being there, through, tips from you guys, guiding us to where we needed to be. We were able to be successful in helping to close that wound. That way they can now start their healing process. And again, just thank you to Aaron Dodd, a wonderful sheriff, wonderful people in that county. We shook hands with the dive team after we were done. Just a very, very warm reception, and people that really care about families and care about people. They're compassionate, and we're really thankful and grateful, for the experience that we had. In working with them, and that they kept us in the loop the whole time, even though they had protocol and regulations that they had to follow, they were still kind, and brought us in as much as possible. And so thank you guys. I appreciate all the officers in that county and everyone that we worked with.
With that, Mom and Dad did make their way onto the property, and I just want to go over a few things here. Mom was on location today. We did not speak with either one of the parents before, during, or after this, and I do invite, if Mom and Dad are watching, we do invite you to reach out to us if you have any questions. And we are very humbled and thankful that we were embraced within your community to come in and help bring your son home. One of the reasons why we did not reach out is because we knew that they had done multiple, interviews through the years, and that wound, has not yet had a chance to, start to heal. And in some of those news, in some of the information that was passed on to us is that mom does not want to do any more interviews. She doesn't want to talk to anybody else, and I don't blame her at all. And so for that, we did respect that, because every year, they do an anniversary, the entire state. I mean, Iowa is a small state, and so not just the community and the local surrounding newspapers, but also all of Iowa. Every year during the anniversary on September 15th, every year, they bring this back to the forefront, and they try to reach out to mom, and mom is just tired of answering this. So
And I couldn't imagine what it'd be like, to be a parent or to be anyone that has a missing loved one, and you go into town all the time, and you're always, I mean, it's always in the back of your head to begin with, but then just to constantly see the missing posters and constantly see all the reminders, it's just a really, really hard thing. I can't imagine, but I know that that constant reminder everywhere, that would be really hard.
yeah, because this is also a community that has not forgotten. I mean, this is a small farming community. We went in, and I mean, there's signs on the banks, there's signs on the post office, there's signs, at the, some of the local stores and the police department. So those posters and those flyers are everywhere. This community. Whereas we go into other communities and they've already forgotten, 2 weeks after something has happened, or they don't even want to participate. As some of you guys have seen in some of
Here's the door of the police department. Can you help me guide that? I don't know. Just right on the door of the police department, you see that they had the missing sign, just posted right there, right when we walked up. So it's definitely around town.
Yeah,
It's definitely a reminder. So so the whole community, was definitely troubled by this, and was certainly an open wound in all aspects.
Yeah. So with that, mom and dad did know that we were on premises today. The sheriff did make it known that, if they would like to speak to us on or off camera, that we were more than happy to do so. That, we're not just here to, place a camera in somebody's face and, bring the world to your front door. And so I think that you guys know that about us, is that, we try to be very respectful of, the families. We tell the story as they allow the story to be told. And that, same thing with the officers is, we don't tell the story of the officers. The officers tell the story of themselves. And in this story, you're going to see, the compassion that the officers within this community have. With that one, Aaron did bring us down as the vehicle was actually being pulled, so Sam has a picture of the car as it was coming out. With that, I believe that the sheriff has made an announcement now, so I'll go ahead and make the announcement that yes, human remains have been found in the vehicle. They were in the back seat, and with that one, we cannot yet confirm that it was, Aaron, or we cannot confirm that it was Ethan's remains. What we can say is that the medical examiner will verify via dental records or whatever other means he needs to verify that this is indeed Ethan. But at the end of the day,
At the end of the day.
yeah. At the end of the day, these things do take an emotional toll on us as we understand how each family will grieve differently, as to the support that we have out here in the RV together among the three of us, to the tears that Dan has while he's editing some of these videos, to the tears that Sam and I share in the moment that something happens. That it's just
it's real life, and it's real life. It's real people. We're real people. Just to just to be a part of this with you guys included. Just knowing that we wouldn't have been there without tips from you, and that this really is a team effort all around, you know, from all you guys sending information, giving us tips, giving us leads, you know, helping through donations, whatever it is. Everything is just everyone working together. It's just amazing to be me and him, we're just two dudes. We're just three dudes right here, just a couple, you know, few dudes. You know, this is much bigger than us. And I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this. It's just so amazing to be something, you know, be a part of something that's bigger than us.
Yeah. And you know, those of you who've been around for a while, I mean, we've said it before, you know, just being here, just viewing the content, you know, whether you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, you know, these two platforms together that have given us the ability to be out here is just years ago. I mean, it would have never been possible.
Yeah.
You know, take us back 5 years, we would not be out here. Take us back, you know, even last year, we were not out here. You know, that you guys know our story, that even, you know, 2 years ago when we started this underwater hobby of cleaning up the environment and sharing the underwater world of out of sight, out of mind, has turned into so much more that it's AWP has become a movement among all of you, that we all have this connection and we all have this ability to help solve these stories and these missing persons cases. Is that, you know, we just happen to be, like Sam said, we just happen to be the two dudes that are out here with gear that we now have because of your donations, because of your, you know, those of you who become members, because of those of you that can't even do it financially, that just watching of the half a cent or whatever that we get from every view, from the comments to the likes to the shares to the subscribing, everything helps, and that, you know, we don't take it lightly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you guys have done. You know, we have Dan. I know that some people worry about you because you are the youngest in the bunch, being 18, and some people have said, you know, make sure that Dan is taken care of and make sure that, you know, PTSD doesn't kick in. And what does this trip mean to you as an 18-year-old, and what you've experienced these last, we're on a 45-day trip. We're coming up on, we're past 40 days now, and kind of going to, like, your whole goal is to a gap year and the purpose and the meaning, and like how you may never even go back to school, and just because life has given you such a purpose. Now, I don't know, in your own words, like.
Yeah, so last night we were kind of talking about this together, and it's like this being my gap year, I cannot think of something that would be more meaningful and fulfilling to do during a gap year. Like, this truly is, like, I can't believe what I'm helping do. Like, this is crazy.
Because these stories are being told because of your vision also out there, you know, as you're recording, and not just the recording, but the editing. I mean, everything that you've seen on this trip, 100%, if Dan was not here on this trip, you guys would not have received any of these videos yet. Like, it would not have been until we would have been back that I would have, you know, produced and edited, you know, the old style that you guys were used to. But everything that you've seen, I mean, just...
Yeah, and I thank all of you. It's an honor, and your positive feedback just motivates me to make better videos.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with you, man.
So
thank you.
So do motivate them, because we've shot over 32 videos now
already
on this trip, and of those 32 videos, you're gonna have all of them out before the end of the year.
Yep.
Which means he's going to be busting his butt. Think about 32 more videos, and you only have 60 days to kick out.
We have 14 coming out in November and 15 in December, right?
Yeah. So we've laid out the schedule. So we've got, you know, Ethan coming out December 4th. We've got Natalie's coming out publicly on the 17th and the 20th of this month. And by the 4th, I mean Ethan will not be out until December 4th. So. And we have a whole lot that's coming out. This trip has been, you know, really incredible for growth for us, for growth for Dan, and I guess
let's go back to the whole PTSD, that whole thing, because we have had a few people reach out, and I by no means am suffering. I'm a fairly quiet, introverted type of person, but no, this is not a traumatic experience, and I'm not. Like, it's definitely emotional and quite the roller coaster, but it's not driving me to the point where I'm
Yeah.
Like I don't think I need a therapist or.
Do you feel fulfilled with the stuff that we do?
Yeah, it's that's like the feeling of fulfillment. I feel like definitely overrules any feeling of this is like I don't know the word for it, but
Yeah, and for me, and I won't speak for Sam, but I don't feel any PTSD from it. What I feel is the humbleness, the gratitude of being able to help these families in a way that nobody else has been able to help them. That if you think about it, I mean, Ethan has been missing for 7 years. The sheriff stepped into the role to where he inherited this case, and he's going off of the information that he had before, that he didn't see any reason to go back a third time. And so with that, we've talked about things with like Mike King over there at Profiling Evil. We're going to be doing a story with him coming up on November 2nd. But the direction of, you being here, us being here, us as civilians stepping in to help solve these cold cases, that we're able to tap into Google Earth, and we're able to tap into networking together of who has certain equipment, and this is one of the things that I keep driving in a lot of our videos that are coming up, is don't look to us to be the heroes in any of this or the saviors in any of this, because each one of you has the ability and the power, from making it known that, hey, we still have a missing case within this community, to putting together a group of find somebody with a boat, find somebody with a sonar for these underwater cases, that once you identify something, you don't have to have a diver with you that day, but just identify that you found a car underwater. And now if you can't get the local agencies to do anything about it, contact your local dive shop, because divers are looking for a reason to go out there and dive. And if you tell them, hey, we found a car underwater and we cannot get the local agency to come out, will you come do it? Most of them will. Now, with certain limitations, because we've learned that certain limitations are, some of these rivers are pretty wicked.
Yeah, within safety, you don't want to lose your own life while you're trying to recover.
Be
smart, be safe.
And with that too, don't go, if you're a diver, or anybody, don't go out there and don't be a cowboy in any of this. First, and don't trespass either. Make sure you're getting proper permission, before you start going on other people's property. Make sure that if you're a diver, we say that we buddy dive, but we're solo divers. And what that means is, when you learn how to dive, they're like, oh, always buddy up, stay right next to him just in case anything happens to your air. Well, we understand the risk and what our equipment is capable of, and, we don't tie ourselves off, and we don't buddy dive.
We solo dive together.
Yeah. And with that, we understand what our own limitations are. We were back in the Missouri River. The Missouri River is the river that, Nathan was in. And that was the river where I learned where my new limits were last year. And being in the Missouri this time, we come into it with different gear, better gear, different mindset. And guess what? I'm no longer afraid of the Missouri River.
Come back stronger.
At the current levels. I mean, the water goes up 15 or 20 feet. No, it's gonna freaking scare the piss out of me again. But the Missouri River is where we ended up, pulling the Mustang out the other day. And so with that one, we do go into this knowing that at the end of the day, one, we're not cowboys in this. We're here to help if we can within our own limitations. But at the end of the day, also, we're not going to put your family's resolution above our own safety, or somebody having to go to knock on my wife's front door and say, I'm sorry, but your husband's not coming home, or your dad's no longer coming home. And so we will continue to within our limitations, do what we can, because I'm going to say that we are addicted at this point in time, that this is my midlife crisis addiction to serve and to help other people. And I think Sam is addicted to it.
Oh yeah, just I'm not going to call it my midlife crisis or anything, but
you're not old enough for that.
No, I'm not old enough for that, and definitely Dan's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not ours, but it's definitely it's super. It's just rewarding. I mean, it's just really rewarding. When you drive away and you just think to yourself, "Wow, I was a part of that." It just really hits you. It's like it's like you know, it's like a treasure, you know, that you just kind of hang on to, and every now and then, you know, you think about it, you're like, wow, I can't believe that I was able to be used to help others. You know, just the service of others, or service to others. Even though it's like you're giving of yourself and you're giving things away, but it just the love and the feeling that you get from that energy, it's unmatched, you know. And I just, you know, the same thing, you know, people have reached out to me, you know, saying, oh, you know, make sure you get some help, make sure you get some therapy, make sure that you talk to somebody. But there's no malice involved in here. Nobody's being malicious towards us as we're diving. This isn't like for me personally, it's not traumatic, but it definitely hits me on an emotional level when I was able to be used as part of a team to help a family. I just, you know, for those of you, many of you guys have been involved in things like this. You know, a lot of you, doctors, nurses, firefighters, you know, a lot of you rescue divers, you know, police officers, or a lot of you, you know, you guys that do serve on various different levels. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you just sit back and you just feel so you're just so small in this universe, but you're being used in such a big way. It's just, and that feeling is just unmatched, you know. And so I don't feel any trauma. I just feel warmth and just, wow, you know, I can't believe that I was used in that way.
Emotionally drained a lot of days.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, like emotionally drained. Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster. You're definitely getting your feelings. That's a real thing, but I mean, it's all so worth it, you know. I'm just so grateful to have been on this trip. I'm grateful that we took this trip. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for you guys. Just the, you know, the warmth and the acceptance and the love that we've gotten everywhere that we've gone. You know, even when, you know, things weren't really going real smooth, you know, there's still somebody there, you know, loving us and, you know, just, you know, pushing us through. And it's just been amazing. Like you guys, you know, you help fill our tank, you know. You know, the energy, you know, the fuel, you guys really help with that, you know.
You know, in our tank in so many ways, you know,
Yeah,
from
water.
You know, Roy dropping off the latest, you know, round of water that we've received many rounds of water, so we appreciate that. To the overabundance of root beers, because you guys know that we love root beers.
Yeah,
to the
encouraging messages, you know, you know, the just being there while we're working on some of these cases, or, you know, as we're pulling cars, you know, to, you know, the little girl the other day brought us hot cocoa, you know. It's wow, you know. It just really,
yeah, they came back twice.
I mean, you guys are loving us, but we're really loving and appreciating you guys. So thank you.
Let's answer some questions. Here, I'll bring it up.
Questions. All right,
Here.
I'll see if we can.
One of them that is definitely seen a lot is, why is the video coming out December 4th?
We have so many videos that we have shot and so many things that, remember, this is at the end of our 45-day trip. I mean, really, this should be the very last video for releasing them in
we
order.
have so many other amazing stories we want to get out to you guys, so we can help more families.
Yeah. So we want to balance what it is that we've you know, the content that we've created and we've recorded the last 45 days. So that's one of the reasons on that one. See if there's any on there. I'm going to bring it up over here and see if I can answer any questions over here.
Do we want to talk about the reward money yet?
People are asking.
Yeah, you guys are asking about the reward money. So as some of you know, and we'll make it known right now, you know, there is a $100,000 reward on this one. And I think that one of the first things I want to address before we get to that is that, you know, some people say that, hey, you're only doing this for the reward money. Can I tell you how many of our 15 or so journeys we've been on in this last 45 days? One of them had reward money involved. So I can say that we did not pick or choose any of these based upon any reward money. That's not why we came out here to do this. And as you guys know, it's because of your views, your donations, you're here supporting us. That's how we've been able to fund this. So we thank you for that. With this one, yes, there is a reward money on this one. Are we going to receive it? I'm going to say I hope so. And are we going to accept it? 100% we're going to, because you know what we're going to do with it? this RV was purchased because of the donations. The trailer, we're going to get a bigger trailer. We're going to continue to invest in gear. We're going to continue to invest in the ability to get out there and help more families. So, 100%, yes, we will be using the money. We'll be using it for good, so that way we can go help more families. And sometimes I see comments that also come across that, hey, anything that you made on that monetization of that video, you need to donate 100% to the family. Do you realize that if we did that and we gave away everything that did come in, we would not be able to do this at all? So, your memberships mean the world to us. Your donations mean the world to us, because without that, none of this would be possible. So, we help out the families by helping to drive awareness to those families that need it, to help drive their GoFundMe, so that way they can, cover those costs. Us coming in and not charging, the families a dime for us to help them, that's all made possible because of donations, and, this reward money will definitely be used for those purposes as well. I mean, after 4x the other day, or yesterday alone, we kind of need a 4-wheel drive RV. Sam didn't think we needed one in the very beginning when we started this trip, but now that he's been on this trip with me,
Well, I see how you drive now.
so yeah, we definitely need a new trailer. We need a bigger RV for sure. So, so please, understand that yes, if we do receive any of the reward money, we, one is we will definitely put it to good use. Another thing that has kind of miffed me a little bit, and I'm reading from my notes over here, is that, oh, you guys only help white people. Guess who our second case was after we left Colorado? Was not a white person,
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that. So, and so, we don't pick based upon, age, race, creed, religion, skin color, or anything. We base it upon, what we based this trip on was, oh, I have a map, and my map says, hey, there might be somebody here, here, and here. Here's all these cold cases. And so this map was chosen by boom, 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 down south and back up and around. And then, whoop, we made our way, a few little jaunts along the way.
So regardless of who you are, reach out to us, ethnic, religion.
Stipulation, though. We do have a stipulation on it.
Just reach out.
Our specialty is
water.
So, we do underwater vehicle search and recovery. That is our specialty. If it's above ground, there's a lot of other good organizations out there. So we need to stay focused upon what our skills are best suited for. Another thing is we do get comments also, I'm so tired of you guys don't solve anything. If that's your thought and your feeling, then why are you even here commenting? Because guess what? You cannot win the Super Bowl every time. We have a lot of cases that when I went into this, my biggest fear was what, Sam? Do you remember?
About
solving these.
That people would off themselves, that one?
No, that's okay. I'll go
I think that was your biggest fear.
No, I do have that fear as well. But no, my biggest fear is that we would go into this giving false hope to family of being able to find their loved one. They're like, oh, we just know that they're in this location, and then we come in and they're not in that location, with the having to give that false hope, and that we're not the saviors in this. But what we have learned, the growth that we have on this journey is that the answers that we give the family is the reward to them. I don't know if reward is the right word, but it's the resolution they need at that moment in time, that their lost loved one is not here, that they no longer drive over this bridge thinking, is my lost loved one there? They now have that answer to start looking somewhere else. And we've had many cases that are going to be coming up that we're going to be sharing this holiday season. And with what's being shared this holiday season, and I've said this before, hug the ones you love and hold them dear, because there's so many, you just never know when somebody might be hurting and pain, and they may not be there tomorrow, and so you need to be there for them. And I wasn't going to read this one tonight, but let me bring you into the messages. So we received messages. So this one yesterday morning came in. And we started, before we even started with Ethan yesterday, we started our morning immediately in tears. Sam's crying, I'm crying. We're not even talking to each other yet.
Actually, it started for me. I was laughing at Jacob, and then when you showed me this, it totally changed the
Oh
tone.
yeah, I sent it. Yes,
100%.
yes, he was laughing at something Jacob sent, and I sent this to him, and immediately the entire changed. You being here, you're changing lives because we're out here being a part of your team. Adventures with Purpose is a team, and so I want to read this email to you. I've asked her if I can share this. She said yes. Just please admit the names and the ages of her children. But she wants you to know that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read it word for word. So I'm gonna bring the computer right here for a minute. She says, "Hi, my name is. I have 3 kids." And then she gives the name of the kids and their ages. There is no words I could say to you and your crew. I can't believe I'm even saying this or went through this. We live a very quiet life, talking about everything, etc. Lord, this is so hard to even start a conversation. Your video of Nicholas Allen, the 17-year-old who committed suicide, saved my son's life. And I was like, and that was like the 3rd sentence into this, and I was like, okay, where's this going? My son, who is 18, is the most amazing, loving, fun kid you could ever ask for. However, he has issues that he deals with every day. That I gotta change this. Sorry. I gotta get this so I can read it better. Save my son's life every day that people can't relate to. Myself and my son are mediums. This has been really hard for him to deal with. Between friends not knowing, but not being able to relate to it, or most family members or so, I started noticing little changes, such as pulling away from family and friends, to his girlfriend cheating on him and getting pregnant by another guy. It was just too much for him to carry. He left our house at around 3 p.m., said he was going to the store, no biggie, nothing out of the norm. So about an hour later, he texted and said, "Mom."
You'll always be my best friend. You are an amazing mom. You always pick me up when I was down. You have been asking for weeks if I was okay. I kept saying, yeah, I'm fine. Just tired. Well, I'm not fine. I can't keep living like this anymore. Mom, the pain of her getting pregnant by someone else hurts so bad. However, that's not the worst of it. I was molested by my uncle when I was 5. I hear him saying over and over again, you're bad. That's why this is happening. So I just believed him. I just believed that I was bad. I now know I wasn't bad, but the damage was already done. I didn't want to be the reason Dad didn't have a relationship with his brother anymore, or if he would even hear the words I was saying to him. People always talk about the issues girls go through in the matter, but what about the boys? It's worse than a girl. I feel ashamed, embarrassed. Mom and Dad just know I love you so much, and I will always watch over you guys and my sisters. This is something I need to do. I'm tired of the pain. Please don't blame yourself. You were great parents. I have to go now, Mom. So when I got this, I freaked out, but my daughter came in and yelled, Mom and Dad, watch this video on YouTube. So we both yelled, not now. So she starts yelling now. So we did watch it. She said, I know where he is. So his grandparents have a 117-acre farm with a huge pond. He hunts there all the time. So my husband ran out to the door and flew down the road. They live 2 miles away. I'm still screaming, crying, dear Lord, don't take him. Not yet, please protect him, over and over again. When my husband got to the pond, he didn't see the four-wheeler of blank. He is freaking out by this time. I swear on everything I have. His dad heard go to the tree stand. So he did. That's where my son was laying. He took a ton of pills and had the rifle with him. So I called 911 ambulance. The ambulance came, took him to the hospital. My son is alive now because of all of you. If my daughter wouldn't have came across that video, my son would be gone. Like I said, can't find the words to express how grateful I am, or if God put that video in my daughter's hands to save her brother. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't thank you enough or I can't thank you enough for what you have all done to save more lives than you think. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you do and how it saved my son's life. Thank you for making suicide an open conversation for others to relate to. Again, thank you so much for your channel and talking about subjects that most people can't. So for me, personally, I know that we're coming to help solve missing case persons, and my mind goes to the place, we're going to go help this family that we're directly working with or working for, or this case, that's definitely going to help. But then to get a message like that, and we've been getting countless messages like this. I got one just the other day.
It was this morning.
In fact, it was this morning. That's it. I just got another one this morning. These messages are coming in, and it's just the ripple effect. The ripple effect is just unbelievable, because here we are. We're doing these cold cases. We're putting out these videos. Dan's just working hard. Me and Jared, we're here. You guys are giving us the tips. But just the effect that they're having on they're just the viewers, just you guys. It's just, that's just so unbelievable, because my mind could fathom that, we're gonna go help these people that we're directly working with or working for or searching for. But this ripple effect, for me, it just makes me just shaky. It just, wow, I can't believe that. And I can't believe that we're being used in such a powerful way. I definitely am a person of faith. I definitely do believe that this is a God thing, whether it's God, energy, karma, whatever. I'm grateful that this is happening, that we're not just affecting the people that we're working with, but this is also spreading out. And so thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. It's just blows me away when we get these messages. We've been getting a ton of them.
I'll read the other one that you got this morning.
Yeah, this is one that somebody sent to me that he's going to read.
Yeah.
Or try to read.
Yeah. It says, hey, wanted to let you all know I love watching your videos and y'all saved my life. A few days ago, I just started watching the videos. I watched the Nicholas Allen video. In that one, y'all said that y'all have had suicide thoughts. Lately, I've been as well. Last Monday, I found out my husband was cheating on me, and I tried talking with him about it. But some of the stuff he told me started making me feel that suicide was my only option. So I drove my truck down to the boat ramp, down from my house. I was sitting there, just staring at the water. It was around 3 a.m., so nobody was around. That's when I started watching the Nicholas Allen video, and because of that, I drove home. Wanted
to say thank you all for all that you do. That video really saved my life. My kids are grateful too. She had kids. Thank you all so much for everything you all do. I hope it helps others like it did me.
These are not the only ones we get. We get these weekly.
I think I've had probably about 4 or 5 this week like this. Everything from a woman who lost her husband about 6.5 months ago. She had been in bed for 6.5 months, and she watched one of our videos, and she just felt like she felt a drive, like she had a purpose to go do something. She wants to be involved in something like this. Sometimes when you're your depth of despair, you're feeling down, you're depressed. Sometimes the best medicine is to try to help and serve others. And just giving her that, the woman who lost her husband, 6.5 months ago, her getting that burst of energy to get up and serve and help. And I don't know, sometimes they say that you got to lose your life to find it, and I think that might be what it is. You stop doing for you and you start serving others, and in the process of that, that's where you find fulfillment.
So with that, is because of you. Because of we are all a team, we're all in this together, that AWP is a mission, and I truly believe that it's a movement that is going to continue to keep getting bigger and bigger, and that if we end up landing this TV show as well, think about where it's going from there as we spread out, or just with YouTube growing to, you know, helping us get to, you know, 1 million views or 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. I mean, it's possible that how many more people are going to start seeing this, you know, how many of you are just, you know, brand new within this past week, that how quickly this is growing and taking on a life of its own. And if you would have told me a year ago that we'd be doing this, I wouldn't have believed you. And, you know, we just happen to be, I don't know the best way, the best analogy. We just happen to be in the driver's seat, going where it is that you are helping to instruct us to go. That this is, as you watch our show, you see that we don't yell and scream at each other, that we all value each other's input. And that by sharing the missing persons cases with us, that's you sharing your input as to being a part of the team and where we should go, to the reviewing the videos that we put out there of, you know, we have a lot of cold cases are coming out that we identified where they are not, but what can you do within your own community to now get out there and take some of those clues? And how many of us as AWP can solve these cold cases? So I really, you know, thank everybody for being here. I'm going to ask Sam right now to fire up his live stream, because, you know, we've been on for an hour now. Are you going to fire up your live stream?
I'm not really. I mean, I'm not really sure which way we're gonna go with my live stream at this moment. I'm kind of.
Well, I kind of want to do it so we could take it like from this to like more of a happy. Hey, let's go hang out on our trip. Is what I would like to do.
So I'll get it started.
So what I would like to do is, you know, everybody hang tight. I'm gonna read messages for the next, you know, 5-10 minutes or so and answer some of your questions.
So I'm gonna try to get my live stream going. Last time I had trouble with it, and I was in this endless warp where I wasn't able to get on. Some of you guys were sitting and waiting for me to show up, and I apologize. so right now I have 3 bars. Right now I have right now I have 3 bars. So that's
he's still on T-Mobile.
Yep, still on T-Mobile.
So we're gonna see if we can fire him up. In the process, we're gonna, you know, once he gets fired up, you know, like I said, I'll answer some questions along the way. Again, thank you everybody for being here, and I'm trying to bring this up over here, and then we'll end up getting gas, and I'll jump in the driver's seat, and you can just hang out with us, and let's see if we can pep this mood up a little bit more. So here we, you know, I think you just got to do a jumping jack here too. So
I think a good way to just kind of wrap that part of it up is, you know, we're doing something bigger than ourselves. We're serving, and this really is a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yes.
With all of you and with everyone, and this is just, I mean, yeah, thank you. That's it. Thank you.
All right, I'm almost to the fired up here so I can read your questions. So this evening, I'm not going to go through, while a lot of you are becoming members and donating this evening. You guys know that on some of the past live streams, you know, I've tried to make it a point to say thank you to each and every one of you for your donations, for becoming a member. As a member, you do get videos early, and it helps to support the causes. We're out here to, you know, get gear, you know, and as well as help some of these other divers that are just getting started, that we've been able to take some of those donations and pay it forward to help them with travel and some of their expenses as well. So know that, you know, even if we're not using the money fully here, it's going somewhere else as well to continue this. So this evening, I won't be saying thank you personally to each and every one of you. I'm just doing it as a general. So if you have donated, thank you this evening for that. If you become a member this evening, thank you for that. And let me pop this out and answer some of your questions this evening. And if you catch any, Dan, go ahead and answer those as well.
I don't know how to make it slow, because everyone says to put it in slow mode. But
if I just go like this, then I can just go like this.
So let's do it this way.
So, are you guys heading home now?
Thumbnail time.
So, thumbnail time. We are heading back west. We are not yet heading home. We still have a few more stops to make before we make our way back home. Somebody says, Kenny says that I'd be proud to have Dan as a son. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Kenny.
Drop your question. I'm paying attention right now, so if you asked a question before, I'm going to try to answer your questions right now. Is almost over. Hey Jared, have you heard anything about if the body of the guy who hit his head jumping out of a boat at Lake Billy Chinook has been found? I haven't heard about the one jumping out of the. Oh, you're talking about the one from last year. The latest one I was looking for at Billy Chinook was a older gentleman who ended up not having enough energy to make his way back into the boat, and I've not heard if he's been found yet. Get some good rest tonight. Yeah, we'll get some good rest. The person gave you the tip off the pond. Oh, I just missed that one. Things moved on me. Ask that question again as to the person that gave us the tip off the pond. I already lost that. Things are moving fast again already. How has your mental health been after finding these bodies? How do you cope?
Take a day off and have fun.
Yeah, we take a day off. We try to do a fun dive the next day to where our mind is just 100% clear, and we just go a lot of laughter on that day. So that's how we recover, is we make sure that we don't do a back-to-back on any of these. Any theories on how Ethan ended up there? I have a few theories of my own, but I'm not going to share those. The speculation only. Some of the mods are dropping Sam's channel in here right now, so please start making your way over to Sam's channel, and you'll hear anything I'm reading here, you'll hear over there, so you're not going to miss anything.
Everything's ready to fire it up now, so we can.
Oh yeah, hit it
Y'all
up.
fire it
right
up now?
Yep, fire it up now. Is it ready to go?
Yeah, we could go in just a second.
Okay, so he's making his way, and then the mods will start posting that link over there. Is there any cold cases in central New York? Yeah, there's a few cold cases over there. We just have not made it over there for any yet. Are you going to look for Bill again? Yes, we are going to go look for Bill and pull those 17 cars out, is our mission also in January. Dan's already on board, Sam's already on board, and Bill's work, where he worked for 34 years, has also donated the funds for us to make the travel there and back. So we thank you for his work, valuing his service while he was there. So we are going to be looking for Bill. And honestly, I think that maybe Bill's going to be found before we make it back in January, that we're only going back for the cars. And the reason why I say that is because so many of you are now involved in what's going on.
Yeah.
That you don't have to wait for us. You know, we got Mike, and we got Karen, we got Taryn, we got so many locals there that are organizing these efforts. And that if you have a boat and if you have sonar, get out there, start identifying where Bill might be. And like I said, we don't have to be the heroes. Contact the local agencies, and if they will not dive on them, get local divers in the area. Just call up any dive shop, and they're gonna have some divers. They're gonna want to go do this stuff.
Yeah, this is open source investigation. This is the future of how people are found.
How's it going, guys? Welcome. Thank you.
You no longer need a private investigator to get things done. It's everyone working together.
Yep. So Sam's behind me trying to be quiet because he just fired up his live stream. So do me a favor. Mods are going to start dropping Sam's channel into there right now. Drop the live stream link in there if somebody can grab that.
So right now, guys, Jared's asking or answering some questions. So that's where we're at. Just here if you just tuned in. So most of you guys came from his channel, so you already know what's going on.
Yep.
And thank you for being here.
So I'm going to keep answering the questions from my channel, but you'll hear the answers over on Sam's channel. So jump over to Sam's channel right now, because we're going to be shutting my channel down in like 3 minutes. So make your way over to Sam's right now. And if the moderators can put a link directly to Sam's channel and to the video that's up right now, and then we're going to change the mood of this, and we're going to get more peppy. We're going to pump gas. We're going to hang out. We're going to get the RV rolling down the road as we're making our way over to Kansas. So we are heading to Kansas. And some of you are going to request that you can come hang out with us tomorrow. I'm going to say we appreciate you wanting to come hang out with us tomorrow. But after what we went through the last 2 days, we just need a date ourselves to just decompress and go on this fun dive. If there's happens to be anything that we find that's worth sharing tomorrow, 100% we'll do a live stream and bring you into it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Whether it's a car recovery or do we find something exciting to share. And hit the thumbs up button. Yes, there's over like 9,000 people that were on this stream tonight. And we only got 6,800.
Jacob, drop my link a little bit, and then come over to my channel. You're pretty much my main mod.
Yep.
So come play ref.
And Trudy will make a few of you new mods over here on Sam's channel as well. So I really want to say thank you. I'm going to start moving the RV and doing some of that stuff. And start dropping questions over here.
Before we stop this stream, for any members, we do have a really good video coming soon Natalie episode 1 is coming out either late tonight or sometime tomorrow.
Probably has to upload overnight, so we'll have that out tomorrow for you.
It's really good.
First Natalie, like, look at how excited.
I'm like really excited about
is.
this one compared to like, I'm always excited, but this one is definitely a good episode.
Yeah.
So.
So you're not gonna want to miss that one. So anyway, I'm shutting mine down in 30 seconds. So 30, 29.
Come on
28.
over, guys. Sam the Adventure Man.
Over to Sam.
And I'm getting really close to hitting 20K. And so if I could hit 20K subs, that'd be really, really cool.
See if you can help push them there tonight. So
Yeah.
if you've not
my
yet,
son Arthur and my daughter Sasha and son Kyler would think that was really cool.
yeah. So if you've not yet subscribed on Sam's channel, subscribe to him. Go check out this live stream that he's doing right now, and subscribe to him as well, and show Sam
Yes, please.
some love and support,
And
because
Xander, he'd think it was cool too.
yes, without Sam on this trip, I mean, think about how boring the trip would have just been with Dan and me. Like, here, cut him out of it, and then like, oh, hey Dan, hey, what's up, Wolfgang? All right.
Yeah, it would be boring.
All right, Mr. Lyzik, Adventure with Purpose live stream is going off right now. Thanks again for everybody and their support. And,
Sam the Adventure Man, come on over. Let's continue the discussion, hanging out with us.
all right, here we go. Thank you, everybody. Later. Bye-bye.